In the in-room, Lloyd confronts Towards, the bound and terrified conman. With a calm smile, Lloyd tells him that he understands greed, but that the death penalty for fraud is too harsh. He offers to forgive him and not bring him to justice. Towards, relieved, agrees to immediately return all the stolen assets. But Lloyd is not finished. Returning the money is just the beginning. He presents Towards with a work contract. According to this contract, Towards will receive a salary, but 80% of it will be withheld as payment for the debt he has created. With a devilish smile, Lloyd informs him that at this rate, he will pay off his debt in just 520 years. Javier, who is witnessing the scene, realizes that Lloyd never intended to forgive Towards. His plan is not to kill him, but to squeeze every drop of value out of him for the rest of his life. Faced with the alternative of being tried and executed, Towards tearfully signs the slavery contract. On the way back, with Towards tied to the wagon, Lloyd plans his next steps. The money recovered will cover the interest for a few months, but he needs more. His plan is to invest in labor, but he is worried that his reputation as a hooligan will discourage any villagers from working for him. A few days later, however, the surprise is of proportions. A huge queue of villagers forms at his job advertisement, which offers a generous salary of 20 gold coins per week. Javier explains the reason. Through his recent actions, delivering the Ondal systems on time, exposing the traitor Newman, and summoning a powerful creature, Lloyd is no longer seen as a troublemaker, but as a talented and trustworthy man. A villager even approaches Lloyd to personally thank him, telling him that thanks to the Ondal system, his sickly child survived the winter. Hearing these words, Lloyd, who had initially done everything out of greed, feels genuinely embarrassed, but also pleased. The moment of glory is amplified when the villager sends him a request from a relative in a neighboring land, who also wants to buy an Ondal system. This is the moment Lloyd has been waiting for. His plan was never to limit himself to his own domain. Building Ondal systems at a loss was an investment in marketing. Now, with demand coming from outside, he can add huge transportation fees and make a profit. Javier, looking at the road under construction leading up the mountain, is still puzzled. Why this road? Lloyd, with a sly smile, reveals the final piece of the puzzle. Ondal systems require an astronomical amount of fuel. The local forest will be cleared quickly, but at the end of that road lies an abandoned coal mine. Javier reminds him that previous barons have tried to exploit the mine, but it always collapsed due to unstable rock. But Lloyd has an ace up his sleeve, his knowledge of modern engineering. He plans to use the shield tunneling method, an advanced technique completely unknown in this world, to safely excavate. The plan is devilishly simple and brilliant. Create a huge demand for fuel by popularizing Ondal systems, then become the sole supplier of coal, selling it at an exorbitant price. The people will be addicted to the heat he has provided them. With a new sense of confidence, Lloyd, followed by Javier, heads towards the abandoned mine. But as they get closer, they discover that they are not alone. Strange noises are heard from the dark depths of the mine. A creature with long, thin legs emerges, followed by a multitude of glowing red eyes. The chapter ends with Lloyd and Javier facing off against a swarm of monstrous creatures, resembling giant ants, who have made the coal mine their home. The treasure Lloyd sought is guarded by an underground nightmare.